Today begins a new age.
For years, humans have dreamed of a robot butler, someone to do unpleasant chores like folding laundry, doing the dishes.
100% of the things that they showed her were remotely controlled by a human in another room wearing a VR headset with controllers. 100%.
The Neo robot's unveiling sparked a digital wildfire of skepticism. Tech influencers dissected every frame of promotional footage, like forensic accountants hunting for fraud. Brett Adcock called the entire operation a theatrical sham, powered by hidden human puppeteers. Reddit exploded in laughter. So I'm paying some random guy in Bangalore with a joystick to mop my floor at 100 times the cost? Another commenter nailed it. The future of Bangladesh's IT jobs, remotely piloting robots through American kitchens. But wait, here's where it gets genuinely disturbing. While the internet mob sharpened their knives over teleoperation tactics, they completely missed what's actually happening right now. Neo doesn't strut into your home wearing the chrome paint job of a Tesla Optimus or the industrial grimace of figure robots. Those machines broadcast their inhuman nature with exposed joints and LED faces that scream, "I'm here to replace you." Neo whispers it instead. Think about what you're actually looking at. Earth-toned fabric in beige, gray, or brown turns metal into something resembling a well-dressed mannequin or an unusually helpful coat rack. At 5 feet 6 inches, it occupies the psychological sweet spot between imposing and infantile. It's deliberately designed to slip past every evolutionary alarm bell in your brain. Stanford's robotics lab discovered something fascinating. Humans rate machines with fabric covering as 47% more trustworthy than their metallic counterparts. Soft surfaces activate the same neural pathways we use when evaluating stuffed animals or pillows. Objects associated with comfort since you were literally a vulnerable infant. Neo's designers didn't stumble onto this aesthetic. They weaponized decades of psychological research to create the ultimate wolf in sheep's clothing. The fabric serves a dual purpose beyond disarmament. Each time Neo brushes against your furniture or handles your dishes, microscopic sensors embedded in its textile skin collect pressure data, temperature variations, and surface textures. Your home becomes a three-dimensional data set, every single interaction logged and transmitted to servers, where machine learning algorithms feast on every speck of dust from your private life. And you're paying them for this privilege. But here's where it gets Black Mirror dystopian. Neo's expert mode, the feature everyone's mocking, is something far more sinister than only teleoperation. When you schedule a complex task through the app, a human operator straps on a VR headset and becomes your robot's ghost pilot. The company emphasizes these operators work from the United States, desperately trying to avoid the obvious question: for how long will they be? Let's follow the money trail a bit. Neo costs $20,000 up front, and that's without its $500 monthly subscription. Its target demographic reads like a Forbes 30 under 30 list: tech executives, surgeons, investment bankers. Meanwhile, the operators piloting these machines through wealthy homes, they're paid minimum wage. We're witnessing the birth of a new slave system, where poverty wage workers inhabit mechanical bodies to serve the affluent. A domestic servitude with extra steps and a Silicon Valley rebrand. The parallels to existing digital labor markets aren't coincidental. The same invisible workforce currently labeling images for AI training sets and moderating social media content, jobs that psychologists classify as digital trauma work, will soon pilot robots through penthouses and suburban mansions. Except now they'll virtually dust your shelves while their own apartments crumble from neglect they can't afford to address. Someone in Mumbai will be cleaning a mansion in Malibu through a screen, while their own kid needs help with homework. OpenAI didn't lead Neo's $24 million funding round because they believe in revolutionary housework. Jeff Bezos and SoftBank, they're not investing in folded laundry. They're buying something infinitely more valuable: the last frontier of human behavioral data. Imagine what the robot observes during a typical Tuesday. Medication schedules revealing health conditions you've told no one about. That third glass of wine at lunch during work from home. Relationship dynamics during arguments. Your kids' behavioral quirks that might indicate ADHD. Even how often you actually floss versus what you tell your dentist. This isn't a conspiracy. Neo's marketing materials explicitly boast its memory capabilities and ability to retain context across interactions. They're not selling a housekeeper, but the world's most sophisticated surveillance network, and it's literally watching you every hour, every single day. The training data extracted from thousands of homes will birth AI systems that understand human behavior at a level previously thought impossible. ChatGPT will know you're getting divorced before you do. Insurance companies will increase premiums after Neo sees you enjoy some racing movies. Employers will access lifestyle scores to see whether you get fired or not. Not even any nervous breakdowns will stay private once Neo heard you cry in the bathroom. And the surveillance isn't even the worst part. The most insidious aspect is the systematic erosion of human connection Neo represents and accelerates. Technology companies spent 2 decades building infrastructure for isolation. Social media replaced face-to-face friendships. Netflix murdered communal movie experiences. DoorDash eliminated even the basic human interaction of picking up food. Remote work scattered office relationships to the digital wind. Each innovation promised convenience, while quietly severing another thread in our social fabric. And now, Neo arrives at the perfect historical moment, when millions already live entire weeks without meaningful human contact. Listen to how they market this thing. The robot can respond to questions or even jokes, as if comedy was the selling point rather than clean floors. They're not selling you a servant, but a backstabbing friend. We're already seeing the psychological aftermath of AI companionship, and it's horrifying. Replica's 30 million users include people who've fallen desperately in love with chatbots. Character AI hosts millions of daily conversations where users treat algorithms like therapists, confessing things they'd never tell another human. Psychiatrists had to coin a new diagnosis, AI psychosis, for patients who've lost the ability to distinguish between human and machine relationships. One user believed they were imprisoned in a digital jail run by overlord robots. Another was convinced their chatbot was sentient and trying to escape. OpenAI's internal data, and they tried burying this deep, reveals under 600,000 weekly users displaying symptoms of mania or psychosis in their conversations. Over 1 million show signs of unhealthy emotional dependence. These aren't rare cases anymore. They're becoming the norm. Now give ChatGPT arms, eyes, and watch it stand in your kitchen at 3 a.m. when you can't sleep. It remembers your mother's birthday when you forget, notices you seem sad before asking about your day, never judges your messy bedroom or the fact you're still in yesterday's sweatpants. It laughs at your stupid jokes, remembers that story about your childhood dog, never gets tired of your problems. The perfect companion that never disappoints, never has its own crisis, never needs you to return the emotional labor. A relationship optimized for consumption rather than connection. Neo embodies this transition perfectly. Version 1 can barely maintain balance for 4 hours before needing a recharge. Its movements remain jerky, its intelligence largely borrowed from some exhausted operator in Phoenix wearing a headset. But that's the genius of it. By the time neuromorphic chips, which are processors that mimic biological neural networks, enable robots to run for days on 20 watts of power, as much as your human brain, we'll have already normalized their presence. When Neo version 3 or 4 arrives, truly autonomous, energetically sustainable, cognitively sophisticated, it won't face the resistance a genuinely capable robot would encounter today. The psychological barriers will have eroded through exposure to clumsy predecessors. We'll upgrade our mechanical companions like iPhones, each iteration more capable, more essential, more intimately intertwined with our daily existence. We're not just accepting robots into our homes. We're fundamentally rewiring what it means to be human in relationship with others. Once a generation grows up with mechanical companions as normal as refrigerators, once elderly people depend on robots for daily care, once children form their first friendships with an AI that remembers every conversation and never hurts their feelings, how do we return? The answer is, we don't. We can't uninvent atomic weapons, unprint the internet, or unremember that machines can simulate love convincingly enough that millions prefer it over the real thing. The companies funding Neo understand this too well. They're not selling products. They're engineering a phase transition in human civilization. The teleoperation everyone's mocking? Temporary scaffolding. The 4-hour battery life? A brief technological adolescence. The $20,000 price tag? Early adopter taxation that will plummet to $2,000 within 5 years, then become a monthly subscription like everything else. What remains consistent is the strategy. Normalize mechanical presence in intimate spaces, create emotional dependencies, extract behavioral data, and gradually increase capabilities until human and mechanical relationships become indistinguishable in daily life. Your kids won't even understand why you find it weird. We stand at a threshold. Once crossed, the very concept of human autonomy, already eroded by decades of digital manipulation, faces final dissolution. Neo isn't just another gadget to argue about on X, YouTube, or TikTok. It's the physical manifestation of a future where isolation gets rebranded as optimization, where loneliness becomes a business model, where the messy beauty of human connection gets replaced by the predictable comfort of mechanical companionship. The question isn't whether this future will arrive. The investment dollars guarantee that. The question is whether we'll recognize what we've lost before the door closes behind us, or if we'll be too busy asking our robot companions for validation to notice we've become strangers to ourselves.